How to do it. Let me show you how to do it.
Hi guys, so this is the RCA television, and the model numbers on this particular unit is this right there. And one of the issues I was having was when you try to turn the TV on, it does not come on. And the very first thing that you need to do is check the power supply. So in this video, I'm going to be telling you how you can troubleshoot your television if it's not powering on. There are different tricks, that you can unplug the power, keep holding on to the power button, which kind of drains all the power out from your capacitors and things like that. And then when you try to turn it on, sometimes it does work. So, this particular case, I have tried all those tricks and none seems to be working. So it seems like the issue is something else, that's not getting power. I was not getting any kind of light, on the bottom of the television and things like that. So what I ended up doing was remove the back cover, and this is the back cover, which is held up by a lot of screws, on the sides and, everything. So I had to remove a bunch of screws, just to get this panel out. You don't really need to remove the screen screws because that's just holding the screen, but pretty much everything that was holding right here. So all that is out. I removed the cover. Now make sure your power is turned off initially when you're removing all that stuff. So of course I had it unplugged, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about the power supply. So, on any television, the power supply has two sides of it. One of them is the high side and the other one is kind of like the low side. And the low side is not really the same power as the high side. The high side, you're getting AC power. This is the AC coming in from the wall. This is the power cables. Once you plug it in, you get the AC power. And then the AC power is then converted into DC power because your television kind of works on DC. So this side of the board, this black line that you see, everything on this side is high power. Everything on this side is DC power, which is low voltage DC. This is kind of like the output that is kind of feeding, all your logic boards and things like that, to make the TV work. So this is kind of like the output of the card. So, for you to test your power supply, that's one of the most important thing. Most of the time, either your backlight is gone bad, and there's a very easy way to check the backlight. When you turn the TV on, if you can still see the image and it's very, very, very dim, you can even put a flashlight on top of your screen, and if you can see the image, that means everything is working good, your power supply is good, and it's just your backlight has gone bad. That's a different issue. But if you're not getting any power, that kind of leads you towards your power supply. So in my case, I'm not getting any power, and I'm pretty sure that my power supply board is gone bad. So in this video, I'm going to be telling you how you can troubleshoot your power supply board and how can you, do some testing just to make sure you don't end up buying a power supply board when you don't really need to, So, here what I have done is once I removed the everything else, there was this is speaker wire. On this particular model, I had to remove this, but that's just feeding the speakers. And that's pretty much the only thing I removed. And also there was a cable right there, which was kind of is the power control right there. You can see for the television from the outside. So those are the only two wires that I disconnected. Now I'm pretty much exposed to the back of the TV, right? Now these wires that you see, I'm going to tell you a trick. So let me turn my lights on so you can see it better. Okay, so on your board, you're going to see something like this next to the output that's feeding your entire battery. So on the circuit that you can see in the top, it says 24 volt, and then it says ground, and plus 12, and these are total 9 pins, right? So these are the output that the card is supposed to give when it's receiving AC power. So receive AC power from these two wires. So the very first thing you need to do is make sure you are receiving AC on these, just in case, if you have a bad nicked power cable that's not providing power to these two. So, I already tested mine, that I do have 120 volt AC coming into the TV, put to the TV board, the main power board. And then the main part that we can check You know, we don't really have to check all these components right now. What I'm going to do is check the actual output of the card. So for you to test the output, let me tell you a little bit about the card. You cannot just start like, you know, measuring voltage. You know, you have to do something before you can get the proper voltage. So as you can see, what we need is we definitely need to have a ground reference. So the pin 2 right there on this card, you know, the two, both, like, you know, because this card have, like, you know, two sides of it, right? So both pins are ground, both 2 pins are grounded, right? So you can grab either one of them. So in my case, I'm grabbing this ground pin right there, which you can probably see. It's kind of hard to see. And then I'm going to put that to DC volt. And since we're measuring DC, okay, so, you know, what I'm referencing right now is the ground right there that you can see on the pin. And this is the ground. So either one of them you can grab, and you can see the black one is pinned to the second row. So this is the ground connection right there. So I have a reference to the ground. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure positive. So what you have here is, you know, if you look at this particular one, it says plus 5 VSB. And then we have PS on. So on all cases, when you turn the power, when you plug your TV in, which I just did, you're always going to have positive 5 volt on the plus 5 VSB. So which is this card right there, this that you see. So right now, what you see is jumper this plus 5 VSB to PS on. And that's something that you have to do. You know, there is no exception, because if you don't jumper the PS5 VSB to PS on, you're not going to get any of the readings on any of the cards. So you must jumper these 2 right there, and that's what I'm doing exactly. And there are a set of 2 pins as well on the back side of it that you don't see, or it's kind of hard to see. You can probably see it from here, you know, but right there. So again, I'm jumpering this guy to this guy. So you know, you have to do it very delicately so you don't end up shorting anything. You want to make sure you jumper these while your power is off, which I did, you know, and once I confirmed that the jumpering was complete, that's when I plug it in. So now we're going to do some voltage testing, and this will tell us if our power supply is good or not. So if you see right there, the very first one, in fact, let's start from the bottom. So the one next to plus 5 VSB is 5 volt, and then we have 5 volt. We're going to skip the ground. Then we have the plus 12. We're going to skip the ground, and then we're going to check for the 24 volt. So let's measure the 5 volt on this guy right there. And I'm getting 5 volts. All right. So we know we're getting 5 volt on this guy. And you can check on either one of them. But I'm going to check on both of them just in case. There you go. So I had 5 volt on both cards. Okay, so now let's go to the 5 volt on the next one. There you go, I'm getting 5 volt, and then the one adjacent to it is ground. So I'm not seeing anything, which is good. Then we have ground. Then we have plus 12. I think I'm on the ground. So this is the ground, the plus 12 is next to it. There you go. So I'm getting plus 12, and the one adjacent to it is ground, so I'm seeing 0. Then I have plus 12 next to it, and I'm getting 12.3, which is good. And then I have 12. There you go. So I'm getting everything all the way from there to here.